Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. I'm Nancy Alspaugh-Jackson.
I'm Shannon Penrod.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's so good to be back and so good to be here with you.
Yeah, good to be here with you.
It's I don't know, it feels a little overwhelming starting a new year, new things.
Yes.
And since everybody has been so sick, we were all sick during the whole break. It feels a little like, oh man, like let's get the wheels on this car, but they're not on yet.
Right, exactly.
Right? But glad to be back. I miss it when we don't do the show.
I do too.
So thrilled to be here. And we got a big show for you guys. I was saying to them earlier, for people who were watching the start of the show, that at the end of the year, CARD all across the United States has this Funda grant program during the holidays to really kind of knuckle down, and for autism care and treatment today, to make sure that as many grants as possible can be funded.
Right.
And boy, people moved heaven and earth.
They really did. I couldn't believe the amount of funds that were raised. And over 30,000.
And I think it's remarkable. And we have said a lot, you and I, that it's so important that to give the reinforcer, that to let people know, so this is what happens as a result.
Right.
And the grant that we chose here at corporate headquarters that we wanted to work on was a very specific grant from a mom who really needed some help because her kid was eloping in the middle of the night. And that's kids elope, but eloping in the middle of the night, I mean, when do you ever get a rest?
You don't. You're exhausted. You're always on pins and needles expecting it to happen.
And this mom's got other stuff going on, and so she had written desperate and said, please, I need this. And she asked for a very specific piece of safety equipment. It's called the Safety Sleeper. They're a remarkable company. We had them on the show before. So we're going to welcome Rose Morris back to the show in just a little while to talk about what the Safety Sleeper is. We really want to commend them also. They have a giving program at Safety Sleeper, which I had remembered from when they had been on the show before, and so I got on the horn to them, and they said that they would give a 50% discount.
Which is great. 50% is a huge number.
Huge, which made it so much easier for us to fundraise. They have gone above and beyond at Safety Sleeper, and it's a remarkable product for those of you who are having kids that elope in the night, man. There is nothing quite like that, because I can't imagine. We both still are underslept. I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
But for a good 5 years, I think I was skating on the edge of. No, I had a nervous breakdown. I think, I went over the edge. And I think it was primarily from worry and lack of sleep.
You can't go, but you can go longer without food, water, anything. Lack of sleep is the thing that will really put you over the edge.
Yeah, so important. And then we're hoping to see if we can get Mom on the phone as well today to talk about what this sleeper is going to mean for her and her life family. And her family. And it's just one of the grants that we were able to
we were able to give about a little over $100,000 in grants in the fourth quarter.
Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. And to a wide variety of different things. I know for some of you that are watching, you may not know what Autism Care and Treatment Today is, but Nancy is the executive director. It's an amazing charity, and you give grants.
We give grants to families, directly giving what they want, what they request for their child.
And there may be some of you who are watching who have applied for grants and have not gotten it. And I'll tell you, every grant season, and you're in a grant season right now. You can apply, and there will be many more people who will apply than people who will get. It's honestly, it's really hard to figure out who gets it, because everybody who writes in is worthy. I'm just going to say that. Yeah. Everybody who writes in is worthy. Everybody's got a different circumstance. Sometimes for me, the letters that people write in are hard to walk away from.
It's heart-wrenching when you see people that are in such need and you can't answer it.
And the answer to all of that is that we all fundraise. So when we ask you when we're fundraising, that's why, because they go to these kinds of grants. And if there was more money, then more grants would be given.
In fact, there's about 50 families awaiting grants for safety reasons that we weren't able to fund.
And that's life and death stuff.
That is life and death stuff.
Life and death
when
stuff.
People say autism isn't a life or death issue it is, especially in these safety cases.
I once had a huge argument with my mother, may she rest in peace, but she was talking about a bunch of political things, and I was saying autism, and she was like, look, you just need to realize that, there's some other stuff going on in the world. And I said, I'm not cognizant of that, and she was saying, there are people who are dying, and I said, people are dying
from autism.
Right. And she was not able to see that, and I kind of raised my voice a little bit and said, really, open your eyes, because
Number one
that
problem,
is happening.
elopement. Yeah. So we deal a lot with fencing, safety, locks
GPS
and
devices,
GPSs,
and
assistance dogs, assisted
Yes.
therapy, and therapy to teach
Yes.
a child not to elope.
yeah, helping with copays.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, we've got some news first, and
We
then
do.
we're going to be joined by Rose from. Oh, you wanted to say something about Wyatt?
Oh, I told you that my son had taken the clippers to his head.
Yes. Did you bring a picture?
I did. I have pictures of him. He took the clippers. He's been starting to shave with an electric shaver.
Mm-hmm.
And the other night he was shaving, and then he said, I need to do more. He chopped the side of his hair off, as you can see in that picture there to the left.
And I know
So-
you were really concerned about it and worried
was
about it.
freaked
I
out.
think it's cute. But of course, I have a child with bright red hair right
Right,
now. I mean,
so-
like day glow red.
Yeah,
so what
that's
am I-
right. And Jem wanted to dye his hair Dayglow red.
Yeah, I mean, he had wanted it this summer, and I was like, okay, and then I compromised, and we did some
Blonde.
spiky stuff in the front. Well, no, it was red.
Was
The
it
first
red?
couple of
Okay.
weeks of school, it was red, and then it kind of rinses out, and eventually it got to blonde streaks. And he said, now I want to do the whole head, and I was like, really? You want to do the? And it's that Kool-Aid red that is
Yeah.
very popular among some kids right now. And I tried to talk him into letting him do it at the beauty parlor, but there I was on Monday night doing it myself with the gloves, and I still have a partially red thumb. And I said to you, this is the time they need to experiment. They need to be themselves. And
Well, I guess Wyatt was experimenting with shaving and how to do that and do it right above his ears, and he just lopped the whole side off. So the first day he went in and he had just big bald patches. Then I took him to a barber shop, a salon the other
Right.
night, and they evened it out, thank God.
but he had done it on both sides.
He had
though,
done it
right?
on both sides
Now, see,
exactly evenly.
That says so much to me. That's not random. That
Okay.
was, I want to change my look.
Okay.
And that's so teenager.
Yeah.
That's so age appropriate.
He definitely changed his look. He definitely did that.
And you know what? I'm sure that he got a different, like I had said to Jem last night when I picked him up, I was like, so did you get a different response from, and he was like, oh yeah. People
Yeah.
were like, oh, what'd you do? And even teachers. So has Wyatt said anything about, did anybody say
No,
anything?
I actually emailed his case manager and said, if you were wondering why Wyatt had the dreadful haircut the other day, and now hopefully it looks a little better. She goes, we were all wondering. It does look better now, now that we've evened it out.
I think it looks handsome.
All right. LabCorp.
Everybody familiar with LabCorp, a place where you go and get your blood drawn
Get your
a
blood
lot of time?
drawn, yeah. They patented an autism diagnosis method, it says, is the headline, but it's not truly an autism diagnosis
Absolutely.
headline. It's not like you can give this test and say, oh, your child has autism.
But apparently that's what's in the patent, but it doesn't actually do that. What it is, and it's invented by David Michael Margellis and Mark Finman Baer of Massachusetts. It's a tissue body sample that can look at the variant sequences in the subject's genetic code. And that will give them information about your risk factors.
Increased risk, if you have an increased risk for
from
ASD.
the genetic causes of autism. This is significant, and everybody needs to know about it because it's the first patent of this kind to be granted. But this patent was filed so long ago that the criteria for autism has changed.
Okay.
The diagnosis, that's how long ago. So you're going to hear a lot about this in the news, but take it with a little grain of salt, because all it really is, to me, it's more like a genetic. We've been saying for a long time for people to go get genetic testing to
Yes.
see after your kid gets diagnosis.
Right.
Well, this is basically saying we're going to look at the genetic sequences and see what your risk factors are. The other thing about this is going to cause a huge uproar is that you can do this test with a child or on a fetus.
Yes,
and
that's
this is
cause
a
a big
thing that
uproar.
a lot of people have been trying very hard, pushing really hard for there not to be a test like this, because will this cause people to abort a fetus that they think is predisposed to have the potential
Which
for
is-
autism?
that's a
Rocky
big if,
road,
yeah, it is.
rocky road.
Slippery slope.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that.
Okay.
My stories are all out of order.
Do you have
but
one on prenatal vitamins, maybe tied to a lower autism risk in kids? And I'd heard this before, that
Yeah.
folic acid and multivitamins during pregnancy could reduce your child's risk of autism, and that's what a new study.
in JAMA, psychiatry. This is coming to us from Stephen Levine from the University of Haifa in Israel, along with an international team of scientists. It's important to note that out the gate, they're saying that this study has a great deal of problems. What they did was they looked at tens of thousands of children born in Israel from 2003 to 2007. And then followed their progress through 2015. And they looked to see if the mother had been prescribed prenatal vitamins. And their study is based on how those kids were done, how they were in 2015. But first of all, it did not look at whether they actually took the vitamins, whether they took the right amount of vitamins, and it didn't take into account the fact that some women, I know when I was pregnant, I wasn't prescribed prenatal vitamins. My doctor just said, you're going to want to take some prenatal vitamins, which I then went and purchased over the counter.
Right.
So that's a huge issue for the scientific community. They're saying this doesn't really show that the mothers actually took the vitamins. The other part that I want to say for our autism community, while we always urge people to take vitamins, and we were always being urged to take folic acid because of the fact that it all but eliminates the possibility of having a child with spina bifida. So we always are proponents of looking at that. We now have more information, though, that if you are a mom who has one or both of the MTHFR deletion genes, that you have to be very careful, because folic acid can actually be detrimental to you and can destroy your immune system. So I want to say to somebody, if you start taking a folic acid and not feeling well, you need to go and get tested, see if you have the MTHFR, and then you would want to switch to a folinic acid in conjunction with your doctor and look at it differently. I am one of those moms that took the folic acid. I took it religiously, and I noticed a change in my immune system, did not put two and two together. Only recently
Do you have MTHFR?
I have one of the genes.
And how did you find out you had
I
that?
asked my cardiologist to please do, it's now a blood test that you can get done. I asked my cardiologist to do the test, and I came back positive for one of them.
Okay.
And so I don't know whether that played a role in my son having autism, but
Right.
I'm going to guess that my son has at least one of the deletions as well. So eating products that have folic acid or taking a folic acid supplement when you have that, no bueno.
Okay.
So be careful.
Yeah, it says the women who took supplements prior to pregnancy were 61% less likely to have a child with autism. And in addition, taking supplements during pregnancy was linked to a 73% reduced risk of an autism diagnosis. But with those caveats,
And you don't want to be without. So if you're not taking the folic acid, you want to be taking the folinic acid, but you don't want to be without them. Let's say that, because you're at higher risk for a child with spina bifida as well, and that has all but been eliminated with the use of folic acid. So we're not saying don't take it. We're saying take it mindfully and make sure you're taking the right one. Talk to your doctor.
Right.
Okay.
Another story in JAMA. A new research letter.
Yeah, and people wrote in, because we were posting last week the study that we did a couple of weeks ago that said that the rate of autism has gone up.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there's this new study that comes out that says, nope, it's stabilized, and this one got more traction in the news.
Okay.
Both of them are from surveys from parents, which I find really remarkable. And in this one, if you read the fine print, it says, well, it did go up, but we didn't think it was significant enough to report on.
It was statistically
It wasn't
significant,
statistically
right.
I hate it when they say that.
The number
It
rose
wasn't
only really slightly from
Statistically significant.
2.41% to 2.58%.
And yet all of the headlines say that autism rates have stabilized. Now, when the other report came out, which was also parent driven, they said, well, that's just a parent survey. That doesn't count. Now suddenly that this one is a parent survey, but it showed no significant increase. Suddenly it's all over the news.
Yeah. Interesting.
Be mindful, folks. Let's all be woke.
And then there's a nice story that Chuck E. Cheese is hosting Sensitive Sundays for kids with autism.
I love this, and we have reported on this before, like
Okay.
a year ago, because guess who started this?
Who started it?
The Center for Autism and Related Disorders.
Okay.
There was one therapist in our one of our Massachusetts office who said, we'd like to do a sensitive, experience.
Sensitive sensory.
With Chuck E. Cheese, and
Right.
got a hold of Chuck E. Cheese. It was so successful that Chuck E. Cheese is now rolling it out in places all around the
Right.
country.
They did it in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and they've got it in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and I'm sure other locations as well.
But all started by one therapist at the Center for Autism
That's
and Related
great.
Disorders. Don't we love that?
Yeah.
So call your Chuck E. Cheese, ask them if they're
Find
doing
out,
it,
right.
and take them, because that can be a really fun experience for our kids. But
It can be overwhelming.
It
Chuck
can
E.
be.
Cheese is one of those places that.
But that's why the sensory thing really, really a benefit. Absolutely love that they did that. And we're encouraging more places to do that. Okay, because we were off for a little while, we're so late on time, we want to make sure that we get to our guests.
Right.
They're waiting patiently. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Rose Morris from the Safety Sleeper, and we're going to talk about what that is, and then hopefully we're going to be able to get the mom on the phone.
Yeah.
So stick with us.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Johansson, and this is My Little House.
My Little House is an interactive, multisensory educational felt toy that I invented to help develop children's language skills.
I love My Little House.
I've been working as a speech therapist for over 20 years. I have spent my entire career working with young children. I work with children with language delays, and I have many children with significant cognitive disabilities and children on the autism spectrum. It has been a constant challenge finding toys that are fun, educational, and actually engage my students. In every preschool, since I've been a young therapist, we carry on these felt boards. Kids love them because they're soft and they're fluffy, and there's usually these little pieces that attach to these boards because felt sticks onto felt. You bring them into the activity because they're putting a piece on the board. So it's almost kind of like magic. So then I just thought, wouldn't it be great if I could just take this one-dimensional board and make it into an actual three-dimensional toy? How cool would that be?
That's the idea behind My Little House. You can spread it out flat like a 4-panel felt board, or here's the cool part. In the blink of an eye, My Little House easily converts into a 3-dimensional reversible house.
This is the outside. This is the inside.
My Little House comes with 36 felt cutout pieces that match outlines in 8 colorful rooms. And they're felt, so they stick. Each piece inside My Little House has been placed with purpose.
For instance, in the kitchen, whole, half, under, on top, inside, big, bigger, and biggest, empty and full, circle, triangle, inside, outside.
Really cool thing, I have a nonprofit, Lecotech. They are the folks that put out the Differently Abled Guide for Toys R Us. They've been doing it for 25 years. They gave me their seal of approval as a toy that they feel is a toy with purpose, and that will make a difference. But My Little House isn't just for kids on the spectrum or with significant disorders. It's also for typically developing 2 to 5-year-olds. It's a fun toy.
Oh, this is so soft. That piece goes.
Recently, I took My Little House to the American Speech and Hearing Association convention in Philadelphia, and the response from my peers was overwhelming. Hundreds of therapists, teachers, and heads of school districts wanted to order them.
It was real validation for me that this truly is a toy that needs to get out there.
Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod. I'm a proud autism mom, I'm a former educator, and I am the host of Autism Live. And as all three of those things, I want to recommend to you My Little House. This is one of the smartest toys I have ever seen for teaching language to kids who have emerging language. Whether they're on the autism spectrum or completely neurotypical, it's a great, fun, reinforcing toy, but it's especially great for our kids that are on the autism spectrum because it makes learning fun and it makes it tactile. They have these felt shapes and they get to match them up. And I'm telling you, even the adults love to play with this. We loved this toy so much that we wanted to be able to bring it to you at a great discount. So right now, if you will go to www.smartfelttoys, and when you get to the coupon code, put in a-live.com, you'll get $5 off. Isn't that great? So I want to encourage you, go and get My Little House for all the kiddos in your life. Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod, and we're at the ABCs and XYZs of Special Needs Conference. And this year, for the first time, they've got something really remarkable. It's the Entrepreneurial Boutique. These are all items that have been made and are being sold by individuals who have special needs. So we're going to do a little shopping and talk to some of these fabulous entrepreneurs. Come on.
My name is Molly Rarick, and I'm founder of Breed's Gift. We're a nonprofit that serves teens and adults with special needs, like Chase here. We were founded in 2013 and serve people in the Conejo Valley, Santa Barbara, and LA.
Our main objective is to give our participants the skills they need to gain a more independent life.
My name is Shelley Cox, and Lisa Zalagi and I are founders of Creative Steps and Create Micro Business Enterprises. And the items that we're selling here today are all made by the clients who have passions about what they want to make, and then they get the profits from what they make after we've paid all of the other expenses.
We are here today because my goal is to be independent, and also I would like to share all my artwork, and I would like to sell.
Thinking about at his young age being a businessman, it's amazing. I cannot be more proud.
Welcome back to Autism Live. So thrilled that our next guest is with us because we were supposed to have her on the show 3 weeks ago, and then we canceled the show at the last minute because of illness here at the studio. So Rose Morris is joining us. She is an amazing mom and entrepreneur. She's joining us from the Safety Sleeper, and I just want to say for both of us personally how much we admire Rose, and she's somebody who walks her talk and does amazing work and makes sure that she gives back to the community. This is an amazing organization. So Rose, welcome, and thank you for being patient with us because it took us a while to get back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. That was so gracious of you. Your intro makes me sound like I'm, I don't know, something.
Well, you are
something.
Do not be mistaken, you are.
And tell us, Rose,
Just a mom.
you're helping us out with a granted act today for a safety sleeper for a child. Tell us what the safety sleeper is, what it is, how it came to be, and who it helps.
Right. Well, the Safety Sleeper is an enclosed bed system that helps kiddos anywhere, kiddos or adults, anywhere from, you think autism to Alzheimer's. Anyone who may have an issue staying contained, staying in bed, staying safe in their environment. So the Safety Sleeper is an enclosed environment. It functions like a tent, but that they can't unzip from the inside. So we can stay safe and have another day with our loved ones.
And how did this come to be? Tell us about how it was invented.
Right. So Abram is my son who is on the autism spectrum, and we designed this for him when he was about 2.5. He was giving me night nightmares with his night wandering and his he wouldn't turn off. He wouldn't go to sleep. He was like the Energizer Bunny. So we created this bed to give him a safe environment that kept him enclosed, similar to what you do with infants. You put them in a crib. They stay in a crib. We did this for him. He just needed a little extra. He was very smart and got out of that crib really early. So we designed this to keep him enclosed. And then I just felt it on my heart that, it was supposed to be what I do, that I help others the way I had been helped. And that's really been our life mission.
And this is really considered a piece of medical equipment. It is extremely well designed, well thought of. It's very safe, and it is designed specifically to make it so that our kids can't, because a lot of our kids are really clever.
They are.
And we've seen instances where people have resorted to things that are not safe to be able to combat when you've got a nighttime eloper. But this is something that's really safe, and it is considered medical equipment, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is. So, a lot of people will say, oh, it's just a tent. And, that it looks fun and it looks appealing and it looks like a tent. That's where we've kept it simple. But the simple fact is it's not just simple tent material. It's medical grade fabric that we have specs from the manufacturer. It's safety tested. It's fire retardant. We have all the medical specs behind it. We follow the FDA's guidelines. I think there are 7 areas of entrapment. We have the paperwork and documentation to show that we have covered those areas. We're not going to have an entrapment issue here. You're not going to have someone getting underneath the mattress and finding themselves unable to get out. This is clearly, been thought of and been tested by myself and hundreds of families, and also by companies that do safety testing.
Yeah.
Looks like you have some fun models of it, though.
Well, we were just showing some pictures of the fact that you can use it with all different kinds of beds. That that it really is so cleverly designed. And I think one of the things that's really remarkable about it is it does look fun.
Yeah.
It does look like something that somebody wants to get in. And I remember from when we had you on the show before that one of the things that happens when you put the safety sleeper on is that the kids can't wait to get in it, and that kids have reported and parents have reported that they're happier to stay in their bed because they feel
safe.
They feel safe and enclosed,
Yeah, there's a sensory element to it.
That they're in their environment and that they want to be in there.
Right.
Which is not you just having lucked onto it. That's clever on your part. That was pure intelligence. So when we saw that this grant came in for the safety sleeper, my ears perked up and I was like, we know these folks, and I know that they have a portion of their company that's about giving back, and I know that that's something that's just really important for you. Talk a little bit about the division of your organization that likes to give back.
Right. So in the very beginning, we had families call us and tell us their stories, and their stories were heartbreaking. And there was just, you want to do something. I had to do something. So we created Fund It Forward. That's our nonprofit that helps families get equipment not covered by insurance, not just the bed, any equipment they need. If insurance is going to deny it, we will help. We will help the families help themselves and help others. But on a side note, it's not just Fund It Forward we work with. We work with any nonprofit that comes to us and is willing to, fill out our documentation, and we know that they're the real deal. And we have special pricing for nonprofits. Nonprofits are the heart of our country. I think we need to be more giving. We need to take care of, the Bible says we take care of our widows. In my opinion, single mothers fall into that category, and all of our families that have special needs children, they need extra help, and we have to take care of these children and these families. It's just better for our world, and it's good for the soul. So we definitely help nonprofits as much as we can.
So you decided to help in this particular incident with this Act Today grant by funding it at 50% off.
And talk to us a little bit about, because I made the outreach call and they said, well, we'll go talk to Rose, and then we heard back that you guys were willing to help. I have to say a little asterisk. Apparently I blew it a little bit, and not a little bit, a lot of it, because I didn't realize that you made them in different sizes. And so when I first called, I didn't specify because I didn't realize that there was more than one size. So there was a little bit of a mix up, but you guys have been so gracious in helping us to correct my mistake. So in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking with the mom who is receiving this safety sleeper for her child and what it means for her. But so what was it about this that you were so quick to come back and say, yes, no, we want to help with this? Why was that, Rose?
Oh, we're always quick to help. In fact, they really kick me off the phone, because when you get me on the phone, I'm more likely to say, sure, like we can do that. Or what's most I can do for you? Because I remember what it was like needing this bed. And I remember the emotional release of worry and frustration and fear and everything that goes into that when you think the ultimate what could go wrong.
Yeah.
And the what could go wrong ultimately for me was I was afraid that my child would die.
Yeah.
And that I would find him, with a head injury or something. And I was trying desperately to save that from happening. And you don't want to get to the place where you go, oh, well, if I would have had that.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from. I want every family who needs this bed to get this bed, and if I can help in any way, I'm going to. Now, I can't give things away because, the lawyers still send me bills and I still pay for stuff, but I will help in any way possible, and I always will.
Where do people need to go to find out more about the Safety Sleeper?
Right, so we have a pretty extensive website, just thesafetysleeper.com. We also have a really strong social media presence, also The Safety Sleeper. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, you can go anywhere. We have great customer service. We have actual people here in the U.S. that will call you, talk to you, or will email you, whatever is the best way for you. Set up times to talk with you. It's really about educating and helping the family understand and figure out what they need.
You're
Great.
fabulous.
Fantastic.
This is why we have such praise for you. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're hoping to have the mom, Amy, who put in this grant request, on the phone with us to talk about what this grant means to her, and we'll include Rose in the discussion as well. So don't go away. Stick with us.
I will.
Being part of this community is really important to a mom with a son like Jackson, because it really does take a village, and you need so much support, to help bring out all of the amazing qualities and skills and talents that our children have. So I'm just very grateful to everybody who was a part of this.
I think it helps with all sorts of that self-esteem, social skills. They seem to communicate a little bit with each other, and they had a lot of friends. The helpers were phenomenal, and I think the social skills for sure, because they worked together and they did a couple of group things across the floor, and they sang songs together, and yeah, for sure, I think it's a really huge deal. A great program.
What programs like this show is the person is in front of what we call today a disorder. I think what we're finding is that these sorts of brain challenges that make people unique can actually be gifts in ways we haven't discovered in the rest of society to bring them out. So when you see a program like this and you see the kids dancing, having fun, and making up jokes, making up the story. I was here when they did that. That was so amazing to watch, because they were all focused, they were all present, and they were all laughing, they were all getting into the creation of this story. And that to me sort of broke the barrier to say, no, first we're dealing with people, and then we're dealing with the challenges.
We're back. And we still have Rose on the phone from Safety Sleeper. And now we have Amy, who is the mom who applied for the grant through Act Today and was granted the Safety Sleeper for her son Isaiah. Hi, Amy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good.
And just before we came live, I was saying that Rose had said hello, and you had something to say to her, and I said, "Wait, I want you to say it on the air." What would you like to say to Rose at Safety Sleeper?
I would like to say thank you so much for Safety Sleeper. My son is excited for his, we call it tent, whatever, but he likes to escape sometimes, and it's just been such a blessing to us to have your product in our household.
Oh, that's awesome. I told someone earlier today I could never have a different job because I feel like I'm paid with the gratitude and appreciation from parents just like me, and I absolutely, that feeling will never
Hang on one second.
me. So
I'm so
thank you.
sorry because we didn't stop and think about the fact that Amy's not going to be able to hear you, Rose, but you'll be able to see it on the playback. She just said, how amazing it has been to be able to
help families.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I apologize for that I didn't think about the fact that you guys that you wouldn't be able to hear her. But we're wondering, Amy, if you could talk a little bit. I know when I originally read the grant, I was very moved by your circumstances. You've got a lot going on right now. And you were just saying that Isaiah is somebody who likes to leave. Has he left in the night before? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, he has. I have advanced cancer.
Okay.
And I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids, which is why I applied for the grant, because I'm unable to work because of my cancer treatments. But so chemo makes me very tired, and Isaiah he doesn't know like what time of the day it is sometimes, and he likes to get up in the middle of the night, and at times has gone out the house and run outside, which I cannot hear, at times because I'm very, very tired, and it's allowed us to, have safety precautions in the household, so it's been very helpful.
And so what did it mean for you when you finally heard from Viri Diana and you were told that you were going to get the Safety Sleeper? What did that mean for you?
It was amazing. It was amazing because I've applied. I think this was the 3rd time I've applied for the grant, and my friend actually, we go to camp together, like a special needs camp during the summertime, and her son has Engelmann syndrome, and she had Safety Sleeper herself, and she told me about it this year. So, and I saw what it does for her, and it helps her as well. So that's why I didn't even know about the product beforehand. Like I never knew about that existed at all. And just applying for it and getting the grant and getting the product was amazing because like it just put in fruition that being an advocate for yourself, and which you have to do, especially with children who have autism. You have to be an advocate and everything like that. So it just was such a blessing to actually, something that I did, applied for this and actually came to fruition. It was just such a blessing, and it was amazing. It just kind of put into my head, that if you keep on being persistent with stuff, it actually comes
Absolutely.
into, existence.
Well, you are certainly very deserving.
It was just a blessing. It was amazing. Like I was like crying.
Yeah. You're very deserving of this grant. You've got a lot of
Absolutely.
circumstances with your family that are very difficult, to say the least.
And I want to say, too, that a full 50% of the Safety Sleeper was funded by Rose and her company and their charitable giving. The other 50% of it through Autism Care and Treatment Today. We adopted the grant here at corporate headquarters for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders, and we did a bunch of fundraisers. I did a fundraiser that was on my personal Facebook, and one of the things that was truly amazing to me, and see, I'm going to cry, was that I was so moved by the fact that a high school friend, a friend that I haven't seen in I don't know how many years, gave $1,000.
Yeah.
And I want to, yes, right. And I put the day that there was the Tuesday, Giving Tuesday,
Right.
they were doing a thing on Facebook, and Bill Gates was going to match grants, and so I put it on right as soon as the grant started. We still didn't get any Bill Gates money, and I'm furious about that. But other people got there before us. But this friend of mine, and I want to give him a shout out, Spencer Malee. A great gentleman, friend of mine from high school, gave $1,000 and really got us kicked off. And then a bunch of other people gave.
I had a lot of friends that gave that.
Right. And then
enormous amounts of money.
We did fundraising here at the office. We had something called a pie war, where we asked people to nominate people that they would like to pie in the face, and that to nominate somebody and vote. Right. To nominate somebody and vote for them, they had to pay $1. And then the person who got the most money in their jar got a pie in the face, which we broadcast live, the pie in the face, if you want to go back and look at it. And there were a bunch of people there to watch it. And all of that was to raise money for the grant. So I want you to know there were so many people pulling for you all along the way. Sometimes I think it just helps to know that there are people out there that you don't know who care.
That care.
But none of it could have happened if Rose hadn't said yes, because we knew we couldn't raise the whole amount. So we want to thank Rose and the Safety Sleeper first and foremost for making this happen.
And tell us, Rose, once again, how people can find out about the Safety Sleeper, where they go to.
Right. So our website is thesafetysleeper.com.
ACT grant.
Oh, no, we're gonna hang on one second, Amy, because we're gonna have Rose give the address out.
Thesafetysleeper.com.
Thesafetysleeper.com. We're also on Facebook. That's a great way to find information. Lots of families on there.
Right. Okay.
And so you can really reach us. We also have a phone number, which a lot of companies don't have anymore.
And
Okay,
Amy Amy's
to you.
emotional. And she's saying thank you again, Rose, and thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
That's
no,
okay.
Don't you be sorry at all.
We understand.
We're here emotional in the studio too, and I know, and I want to apologize because through my ineptness, the wrong one got sent to you. But as you know, we're getting that all taken care of. And
thank you. I don't mean to be a burden.
No, you're not a burden. You need
sweet,
to
you are
the
not
right
a
size.
burden. You are not a burden at all. And thank you for saying to parents to be persistent, because when a lot of parents apply for a grant and they don't get chosen the first time, and they get so bummed about it that they don't apply again. So thank you for applying again and again and again. And we, you've been on our radar, and this was the time to do it. So I appreciate you so much for reapplying.
I appreciate you guys as well. Thank
Okay,
you.
Amy.
Sending
we wish you
you
all
hugs,
the
Amy.
best.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm going to say goodbye now, but we'll be talking to you soon.
Okay. Bye, Amy.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What an amazing young woman, and all the things that she's
Everything
facing.
she's going through is just
right.
You guys should have given us a mascara alert.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
please, we're all teary here too. But Rose, this is what you do, and this is what this incredible product means for some families. There are no words. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your generosity, Rose.
You're welcome.
And
thank you for spreading. Just like she said, she had no clue it was out there, and we've been around for 10 years. So it's just amazing that we really have to share. And I ask people to share all the time and say, you never know who's going to need this that you don't know. And
That's right.
it goes a little more and a little more.
So again,
thanks for doing this.
Safetysleeper.com. Make sure you check it out on Facebook. And we'll be back in touch with you. I'm sure we're going to do more great things together, Rose.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Rose.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting us be a part of this.
Thank you for being a part of all of it and being patient through through our illness and my mistake. But appreciate it.
Oh, it's no worries. Hey guys, if I could just put a real quick shout out there so that along that line of what people know or don't know, and knowledge is power, we have actually expanded here, and the Safety Sleeper is the product. The company is actually Abrams Nation, and we have 4 or 5 new products coming out with a list of about 7 that I want to get out over the next year or two.
Okay.
But if we want to check that out, Abrams Nation will be expanding, and we'll have that as a website. We already do. Safety Sleeper, again, is the big one, but Abram Nation is going to do, fidget folders and therapy tools, wheelchair wear, so sweatshirts and capes and boots and all sorts of good stuff to help out people that are in that arena.
Oh, great.
That's fabulous.
That's
Well, keep
great.
us posted on that. We'd love to have you back on the show
have you
when
talk
you
about
have
those
those to
products.
demo.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
let's do it.
Okay.
All right, thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Rose. Thank everybody there.
Have a great day,
Okay,
guys.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we've gone
So,
over.
We've
but
gone
it was
over.
worth
Okay, it was definitely worth it to
It
hear
was
that.
so worth
I mean,
it.
the incredible sense of gratitude that this mom has, and Rose, her company, the way they're so giving.
Yeah, absolutely. Walking her talk, man.
Yeah.
An amazing, amazing thing. And amazing things can happen when we, I always say on this show, si se puede, we hold hands and we can do it. We can do this when we all get together. If you're feeling alone, I want a special shout out to you and tell you that this poor mom did not know all the people that were working to make this happen for her. And sometimes you have to put it out there, and you got to put it out there more than once, what it is that you need, but then amazing things are happening. People are thinking about you even when you don't know it. Don't be alone. Join us here.